What is your favourite snack to eat whilst writing?
My favourite snack to eat whilst writing is probably biscuits. I do love biscuits, and I think it's really important when you're writing, because writing can be hard. It's important to have a wee treat. So when I'm writing, I do like to have a little biscuit. In fact, I've got a little biscuit here, and it's really, really nice. And I've done a bit of writing this morning, so I'm going to reward myself right now.
Do you treat yourself when you have completed the first draft of a book?
Do I treat myself when I finish the first draft of a book? Of course. Writing a book is really quite difficult. Writing anything is really quite hard. And when you get to the end of it, you should totally reward yourself. So one thing I like to do is go for a nice cake. There is a lovely cake shop very close to it. It's incredibly luxurious and expensive. And I like to go there and get something really nice as a bit of a treat.
What is your favourite thing to do when you have completely finished a book?
What is my favourite thing to do when I've completely finished a book? This is a surprisingly hard question because it's really difficult to know when you've actually finished the book. You finish the first draft and then it goes off for edits and then it comes back and then there's more changes and then you go off again and then you get talking to the publisher about covers and things like that and final edits and proofreading and things like that. Sometimes it can feel actually that the book isn't finished until you're literally standing in the shop and seeing it on the shelf. But when that happens, it's really, really nice. And I quite often like to have a wee party or go out for a meal.
What is your favourite children's book ever written?
My favourite children's book ever written is this one, The Grey King by Susan Cooper. This book, as you can see, I have read a lot. I have read this book so many times that the cover fell off it. I have read this book everywhere. I have dropped this book in the bath twice and had to hairdry it in order to dry out the pages. And I adore this book. It's a fantasy action adventure series book. It's part of the Dark is Rising series. And this is the book that made me realise that the thing that you absolutely care about in stories is people. You can have all the whiz bangs and all the explosions and all the sort of excitement and twists and turns, but it's the people that you carry away with you for the rest of your life. And the story that's in here is one that I've carried for my whole life. So The Grey King is fantastic.
If you could invite 3 children's authors to dinner, past or present, who would you invite and why?
If I could invite 3 children's authors, past or present, to dinner, who would I invite and why? This is such a hard question. I'm really lucky because I do get to speak to some modern children's writers and we get to meet up now and then, and they're lovely and that's absolutely great. But if I was looking back in time, who would I pick? I think I would probably go with C.S. Lewis. He wrote the Narnia books, and in many ways he sort of opened the door to the kind of storytelling that we have nowadays. Children's books with big themes, big ideas, and but in a sort of really nice and accessible way. I think Diane Wynne Jones, of course, she was absolutely fantastic author, created so many brilliant and completely innovative stories in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even the noughties, and I absolutely adored her as a kid. And he has done some children's books, but it's really his adult books that I absolutely love, is Terry Pratchett. He is so funny, so clever, and he has such a gift for making you suddenly realize that his books are about really important things when you thought you were just having a laugh, and I think he would have been amazing.
If you could co-write a children's book with another author, who would you like to write with and why?
If I could co-write a children's book with another author, who would I write with and why? This is actually a really challenging question, I think, because there are so many great writers out there and they all have a very distinct style, and sometimes you wouldn't want to interfere with their style because they know what they're doing and they've got their feeling that they go for. I'm actually really lucky because I actually write picture books as well as middle grade books and books for older children. So I already get to work with other creators, not authors, but artists. So like this one, for example, this is One Cheeky Octopus, and this was written with Alex Wilmore, who is the artist for this, and he created absolutely amazing illustrations. And I get to see the words that I've written merged with the artistic ideas that he's got. and it's a really great creative cooperation. So I think I'm already actually getting to do the creative mix that I really like.
If your shortlisted book were to be made into a film, who would you like to play your main characters?
If my shortlisted book, that's I Am Wolf, were ever turned into a film, who would I have as my main characters? Well, that's tricky because when I write, although when I see the action scenes, I see them very visually and I see what's going to go on. When I'm thinking about the characters, I'm much more inside their head. I've got ideas about what they might look like, but really they could be sort of anybody. But there were one or two characters when I was thinking about I Am Wolf. When I started, I was thinking about Rika. Rika is very smart and she's quite scornful, and one day I was watching the Umbrella Academy and there was Ritu Arya, and she is absolutely fantastic in it, and she can be so scornful and funny, and I thought that's Rika right there. I think for Bran, who's a member of the Raven crew, I was thinking possibly somebody like Jenna Ortega. She's odd, a bit mysterious, and you don't quite know what's going on with her. And also there's something about a gigantic flying mechanical raven that feels very, very goth to me. And for the main character for Call in I Am Wolf, this is tricky, but I think possibly somebody like Josh Hutcherson. Josh was in the Hunger Games, but before that he was in Bridge to Terabithia when he was younger, and he was playing somebody, he always played characters who are very loyal and perhaps angry, but certainly always wanting to try and do the right thing. And I think that he would have been perfect for Cole.